On Tuesday, Amazon confirmed plans to cut about 14,000 corporate jobs as the online retail giant ramped up spending on artificial intelligence. It's the first wave in a mass layoff that's expected to slash as many as 30,000 Amazon positions, roughly 10% of the company's corporate staff. Some may ask why we're reducing roles when the company is performing well, wrote Beth Galetti, an HR lead at Amazon, in a public note. What we need to remember is that the world is changing quickly. This generation of AI is the most transformative technology we've seen since the internet, and it's enabling companies to innovate much faster than ever before. In June, Andy Jassy, who became Amazon's CEO in 2021, said he anticipated generative AI would reduce Amazon's corporate workforce in the next few years. He said Amazon already had more than 1,000 generative AI services and applications in progress or built, but that number is just a small fraction of what it plans to build. And in that opening moment, with the announcement dropping like a bombshell, a much darker story began to unfold. Inside the gleaming towers of Amazon's corporate campus, the atmosphere was normal. Emails pinging, meetings scheduled, plans rolling. In the background, the hum of servers, the glow of screens, the promise of automation and growth. Employees believed they were riding the wave of the future. They believed they had job security. They believed in the mission. But beneath this facade, a shifting tectonic plate of change was forming. One that would crack the ground beneath many unsuspecting feet. It started with a whisper, a rumor, in internal Slack channels, in hushed corridor conversations. Managers told themselves, maybe it's just restructuring. Maybe it won't hit my team. Maybe we'll be spared. But when the word AI began to surface as the culprit, that something more sinister was in motion, the mood changed. Emails from HR, notices that read, "We're reorganizing resources, removing layers, reducing bureaucracy." Employees, scanning their inboxes, staying late to finish projects, wondering if the next ping they received would be their last. One by one the signs emerged. The once invincible corporate fortress felt suddenly vulnerable. Then came Tuesday. The public announcement. Headline after headline, Amazon to cut 14,000 corporate jobs. The number was staggering. The speed was brutal. For many, the moment felt like a betrayal. A company that preached innovation, now telling its people they were expendable. The internal memo, "We need to be organized more leanly, with fewer layers and more ownership, to move as quickly as possible." A chilling phrase in a chilling context. In cubicles across the globe, TVs live-streamed analysts dissecting the move. In meeting rooms, managers scrambled to digest the impact. In homes, employees took calls from loved ones asking, "Is your job safe?" The shift had gone from rumor to reality. Behind the numbers, lives. A senior manager in Seattle. 10 years at the company. Stock options vesting. Just got the email. A mid-level director in London. That return-to-office mandate is looming. Now wondering if staying in the city was worth it. An early career professional in India. Thrilled by the Amazon brand. Now terrified of the next badge deactivation. They share one thing. They believed they were safe. They believed they were valued. Now they are victims in a corporate crime of sorts, stripped of certainty, identity, purpose. And they ask, what did I miss? Was I too slow? Too loyal? Too trusting? Meanwhile, the company's machine churns on. Quarterly earnings are still expected. AI infrastructure is still being built. The world is moving faster than ever. The motive is cold, strategic, unemotional. Amazon's CEO Andy Jassy had earlier flagged that advances in generative AI would reduce the corporate workforce. The company had around 350,000 corporate employees. The cuts represent roughly 4% of that number. Investments. Massive. Data centers. Cloud infrastructure. AI chips. But workforce reduction? A way to show cost discipline. To satisfy investors. To free up capital for the big bets. Beth Galetti's memo made it explicit. The company must invest in our biggest bets and what matters most to our customers' current and future needs. It's cold, but it's business. For the victims, though, the motive means little. The machine doesn't see them. It only sees layers. Redundancy. Speed. The execution was silent. Almost invisible. No midnight mass layoffs. No dramatic announcements to staff. Instead, emails. HR training for managers on how to deliver the news. Employees told, go quietly. Sign exit papers. Drop your badge. Some caught wind of it in meetings. Others received the email while walking to coffee. In some locations, people logged into computers and discovered their access revoked. In others, the chairs around their desk went empty overnight. The cost-cutting machine had been primed. No alarms. No dramatics. Just the sound of life changed. Shock. Panic. The ripple effect. Teams scramble. People asked to absorb extra work. Projects delayed. Morale plunges. For many, the psychological toll, the survivor syndrome. Those who remain feeling guilty, unsafe, unmoored. The question, who's next? The company says, we will continue hiring in strategic areas. But the message to many is, don't get comfortable. In the tech ecosystem, the story becomes another case study of AI's displacement. But in conference rooms, the story is scriptless. No one taught them how to respond. The victims sit in empty chairs. The survivors pick up the slack. The company marches onward, its transformation accelerating. There are whispers, rumors, that some workers were classified as resigning voluntarily. That managers were trained a day in advance how to break the news. That some org units were hit harder than others. HR, devices, services. Questions arise. Was there transparency? Could employees see this coming? Did they have time to prepare? Was the transition handled fairly? In some corners, the answer, no. And for many, the feeling is clear. The displacement was swift. The communication was inadequate. The cover-up isn't dramatic. It's silent. It's an omission. It's being left in the dark. In our story, the suspect isn't a single person. It's an elaborate system. Corporate ambition. AI acceleration. The demand for speed. But individuals still play roles. Andy Jassy. Beth Galetti. Executives behind the scenes. The victims. Thousands of employees. Their loyalty was exploited. Their stability was challenged. There's no courtroom. No jury. But the investigation lives in LinkedIn threads, Reddit posts, internal Slack channels. This will hit 80% from corporate positions. Accountability. Harder to fix when the crime is not a robbery, but a restructuring. Some employees escaped before the axe fell. They took new roles. They found internal transfers. They exited early. They made contingency plans. For others, the exit came without warning. Some accepted severance. Others were left wondering if they could have done more to protect themselves. In a world rewiring around AI, survival meant anticipating change rather than reacting to it. Amazon will move on. The tech world will move on. But the legacy remains. For the victims, scars of betrayal, questions of worth, a new reality. For the survivors, changed culture, a sharper edge, a work like a startup mantra. For the workforce at large, a warning. AI isn't coming tomorrow. It's here today. In the labyrinth of modern employment, one thing is clear. The landscape is shifting. The rules are changing. And not everyone will make it through unscathed. The opening lines of this story weren't about murder, kidnapping, or the usual freak-out headlines. But make no mistake, this is a true crime. A crime of corporate structure. A crime of displacement. A crime of lives uprooted. As Amazon shed 14,000 jobs, it also shed trust. It shed stability. It shed the quiet promise that being safe at a major company meant something. And as the next wave looms, the up to 30,000 figure floating like a threat, we must ask ourselves, who pays the price for innovation? Because in the race to build the future, humans are still the currency. And in this case, the bank was robbed.